Is XRP the Tesla of crypto? Well, I tend to think so, and I'm here to show you my case as to why. So, on the same screen here, I have Tesla on my left and XRP on my right, and they both are monthly charts, and they both are looking very, very similar. And from the peak in 2021, you can see they are both still in a downtrend very much, and they still have not broken into any kind of higher highs on a monthly time frame. Because you can see right here in July of 2024, Tesla still did not close any kind of monthly candle over any of these levels over here, and XRP did not close any monthly candle to these levels over here as well. So therefore, same kind of trend, same kind of little V bottom there. This one was kind of like a W just because it got extended a little more. I think mainly because the high of XRP happened in April of 2021, so it had more time. Meanwhile, the high of Tesla was in November of 2021, so it was a little bit quicker of time. But if they happened the same amount of time, possibly it would have been a V bottom here for XRP as well. But almost identical in what was really happening here. And essentially, I believe they will break out together, they will move together, they will skyrocket together. And in the following screens, I'm going to show you why. And the first one I'm going to do is Tesla. And Tesla, just by using the Fibonacci alone right here, you can see clearly that it has been following from the 2021 high down to the January 23 low. You can see it's been following the Fib retrace levels very, very closely on a monthly basis. And essentially, you can see right here that the 382 was a perfect support zone for Tesla, and now it's making its way back through each retrace level one at a time, slowly but surely. And eventually, I think it's going to break back up to this one level, and it's definitely going to get there once it breaks this 786 level. So once 306.93 breaks on any monthly kind of close, I believe all-time highs are then guaranteed. And then by then, it'll go to each level at a time, maybe the 1.272, 1414, 1618. And I think ultimately the target within the next couple of years, 3 years or so, will be the 2.272. And that'll be around the 2472 level. Now, if I combine this with my GAN, I can just show you what I mean. So right here, that blue level kind of lines up almost perfectly with that 50% level. So that is also more confluence that that's a very important zone. And therefore, once price breaks above the 786, it can get back to the 1 and then just explode higher. So where did I say price could get to? It would be the 2.272. Well, if you look right here, that kind of coincides with the green level up top within the next couple of years, maybe by 2027. And that is kind of almost at the green level. And if it did just gravitate a little bit higher and wick above that 272, you would have a 2800 or a $3,000 Tesla by that time frame. So I do think that that is a definite possibility. Once that 786 gets flipped to a support, and once the all-time high, the previous all-time high, gets flipped to a support, it can just go explode higher and higher. And this is going to be no different to XRP, and I'll show you why. So, going and looking at this XRP chart the same way, I have the 2021 high up there and the low back here in June of 2022. Still different time periods, but it's going to be similar results. So, essentially, looking at this, you can see that price, just going back here, price never really could break back above the 50% level, right? It did go up there a few times, got rejected. So you can see that it's just currently battling the 382 level right there around 59.8. So that's a very important level to break. But again, I think once it gets back to the 786 there, it'll get back to the previous high here. But that's not the previous all-time high, right? The previous all-time high was back there in 2017. But just to use similar fibs during similar time periods, we're going to stick with this one. And I still think it's going to be the same kind of situation because once it breaks higher, then it's going to go to maybe that 2.272 Fibonacci, which sits up there around 2274, right? That seems pretty extreme, but I think they both have the same exponential power. And let me just put up my GAN here so you can see right now. You can see that the overlap of my GAN and the fibs, that the zero level of the fib was exactly the orange level of my GAN level, right? And it still has not really broken above this top arc. I've mentioned this numerous times before. And I think once it's able to, then by that time it'll get up to the 786, then flip that to a support, and then it'll be able to get higher and higher. And where does that 2.272 Fibonacci lie? Well, once again, it's very similar to Tesla, how it's pretty close to the next level. And that next level does sit around $28, $29. I have mentioned this before. And that 2.272 fib is exactly on the way to that destination. So same situation with Tesla, price could just wick above, hit that level, and then consolidate down further, right? So we're looking at some kind of blow off top there that could be very identical to a Tesla blow off top, where Tesla could get up to maybe 3,000, 2,800, and XRP could possibly get up to 22, maybe even $29, right? So I think this is a very plausible situation, especially since the charts look very identical from the 2021 top. And they both have been trending higher since the bottom, and they both look almost ready to break out. And not only that, let me bring up the monthly Ichimoku cloud so you guys can take a look at that for each one. So first I'll start with XRP here. And XRP on the monthly chart, you can see that it's really battling the conversion and the baseline right here, right? You can see it's really battling that right now. The baseline's up here at 62.4. The conversion line sits right there at 56.370. And this is a challenge, but they're very narrow, right? You can see that the distance between each one is very narrow. And when I take off everything else, you can see things more clearly. You can see that in the past here, they were really wide after did that bearish cross, really wide, and now they're getting closer and closer together. So it's just a matter of time before price gets higher and explodes maybe back into the cloud, and then finally flip that cloud into a support and continue much higher. And that level currently sits on the monthly chart around 105, maybe 104 or so. So it has some room to run before it even explodes, right? So the first step would getting above that 62.4, and then the next step after that would be to just get to the cloud and flip it to a support to continue much higher. Now this Ichimoku looks a little bit weaker than Tesla does, but that's because that it's still not at that 50% Fibonacci level that I've showed you before. So it needs a little bit more time for it to catch up to the Tesla price. But now let me show you the Tesla chart. And now let's take a look at Tesla and its Ichimoku right here. So it's pretty similar to XRP, how once it had that bearish cross there, it just expanded, right? The distance between the baseline and the conversion line was really wide. And now it's getting narrower and narrower. And it looks like they're just right on top of each other, just like XRP, right? The baseline's on top of the conversion line. But the only difference here is price is back within the cloud for Tesla on the monthly Ichimoku. And it's even back above the bottom of the leading span B, which is around 213. So this is more support and has more room to run for Tesla than XRP. So it has a chance of breaking out before XRP does, right? And not only that, if this month closes above the conversion line down there and the baseline and within the cloud, do you guys realize that's the first time it's really done that in a long time? That's been forever, right? Since they've been this narrow, and yeah, since the baseline and the conversion line have been this narrow, and price has been on top of it. When's the last time that happened? Up here, no, because price was pretty far apart, right? The baseline way up here, conversion line down here. Up here, no, still pretty far apart. When was the last time the baseline and conversion line were that narrow, right? We'll go right here. And it was kind of like way back here, right? In 2020, or even maybe right here, where the baseline was on top of the conversion line back here in 2019, right? So it's been a long time since it's been that narrow of a range for Tesla. So that just means that in my opinion, it's almost ready to go higher and flip this to a support. And then once that happens, they can flip that 300 level to a support and then just continue higher. And when I add back on the Fibonacci and the GAN, you can see that they both have their 2.272 extension levels near the next GAN level. And I'll go back to XRP to show you that real quick right here. So let me just zoom in. So look right here, baseline on top of the conversion line first, very narrow. When was the last time that really happened? This very narrow range when the baseline was on top. We can go back here in time. And essentially on the monthly chart, it's not really easy to find, right? Not really easy to find at all. And I think the easiest or the soonest you can find it is probably when it started to explode higher back in March 17th, where the baseline and the conversion line were really close together. But they've been far apart for a long time. And this is a great sign to see for things to continue higher. So the only difference though is this one's a little bit lagging compared to Tesla. It has some room to catch up. It has some room to get back into the cloud. But once again, that 2.272 Fibonacci, look at that, right at the next level up there. So I think that this is very possible for XRP, and I think that the Tesla 2800 or 3000 price is also very possible within the next few years as well. So watch out for these two monsters, in my opinion, because I think they are setting up for a beautiful ride to the top.